All right, so here we are. We got the uh, NASDAQ chart, micro NASDAQ. Let's watch trading. Oh, mosquito. All right, so here we go. We got the NASDAQ chart. So I have it pre-marked. So I'm going to go, let's do something. Let's go here. Let's take out some of what it did. I also got the bigger time frame. So I'm just going to give you looking at the daily. It's crazy. Uh, Here you are, a fresh chart. All right, look at that. All right. So right, we're looking at the daily chart. Um, this is an indecisive candle right here, right? This right here. Indecisive candle, where if you look at it, we're still trading inside the previous high and the most recent low. So this was the most recent low here, right here. Most recent low at 24,168. It did that October 10th. That was Friday. That's when the market was one of the biggest liquidation events, especially across like crypto and other assets. Okay. The high is here. So this gives you some reference of where we're at. Okay. We're looking at the high at 25,391. You're looking at the low of 24,168. This is happened within the last 4 business days, 5 business days. So when you look at that, let's just look at where this came back. This came back to some previous highs. These highs right here at this level was going on in August. So it dropped down went back 2 months to some previous highs. Okay. So that tells you that with this it broke some structure here, but it never broke these previous highs, which tells me it is needed to do a nice correction. I think that correction was about 3 to 5%. I don't know the exact amount right off the top of my head, but that's what you'll be looking at. It traded right into these previous highs, which tells me that that type of correction is going to continue up. It does also indicate me just off of experience that the market is highly manipulated for the bigger institutions to make money because it's a great level for obviously for them to get into the market. If you look to the left, this is where once it broke this previous highs, it took a nice chunk. I mean, other than this candle right here, this shows you even with this bullish hammer right here, this shows you right here that they wanted to go up. Even when they try to test these highs at that time, it wanted to go up. And it went up rather nicely. Then obviously this is market restructure, made a new high, retraced right back to these highs, which are which is where they broke here, and then it continued up. Just looking at these candles, the market for sure was making new highs, and hopefully you made some money, get part of it. Here's when things get tricky. For a real correction, you're going to be looking at about 20%. So a lot of people experienced this back in April, May, March, April when it did this correction. I think this was only like a 12 to 15% correction, believe it or not. If the market starts to trade into these highs, start sitting here, I'll be starting to think that it will maybe want to drop. If it starts to trade below these lows, starting to trade to these lows and highs, back where it was in the spring, definitely is going to make a nice correction, which is very possible. I actually do believe at some point, because of what the market has been since COVID, the market at some point is very possible that it'll make it down here. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be opposed to that. The market is doing really well. That's why if you invest in the SP 500, you're going to make a significant return. I think it's 8 to 12% on average return. You're going to make a significant return over a long period of time. I mean, look at this. If you just join on a down year and this 2022 to 2023, imagine you jumping in the market around here, taking this all the way up. I'm not talking about futures because that's not how you trade futures. But I'm just thinking about stocks that were at these lows and these levels. Imagine how wealthy you'd be just right now. Imagine how your portfolio will look. Okay. So that's something that you want to consider um, at this time is what is the market do? What is it trending towards? It made a jump and now we're trading inside the day from Friday. We're still trading. Okay. Opened up here, pushed all the way up back to this previous high, this little shoulder right here. Look at that. Let me show you that on a daily. Look at that. Traded right into this. I want you to see something very important though with these candles when you're daily. Something very important. The bodies never close at or above this shoulder. And I said in my last video that it could start ranging here, which I do think is going to happen a little bit longer. It's already doing the last few days. But it came down here, wicked, swept probably some liquidity that was down here left over. Orders were still there. But when the market gapped up over the weekend, and immediately pushed up, still closed below. So it was a red day. And then it opened, pushed up, got some more liquidity up here with probably some sell orders, right? Pushed that, but it was a green day because it's still this green candle still closed higher, but it didn't go all the way up. So what I'm looking at is this candle here being indecisive right here. Let me show you. Has me thinking that it can potentially try to maybe test these wicks, maybe potentially test here, but this may be the high. You might see a bounce right up in this area and then a drop again. But until we see a considerable break above this level and a break above this wick to test this high, I wouldn't be just looking to just jump into buys right now. Just because you see the candles trending up, that could be a ascending triangle and then they just tank again and hit this level again and hit these lows again. Look at where market likes to go where it's very familiar, right? Look at even this wick here. Look where it went to. Look. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. Before here when it came back down here and was pushed up because it wanted to go up. Did the same thing. So don't be surprised if it does. I just feel like it's going to range a little bit longer, but I could be wrong. Market's going to do what it's going to do. This is just from experience. Um, it could very well just test these highs and then That's what you're looking at. But this is how I'm marking up my chart to see what levels are you going to see a lot of volatility, a lot of strength in the market to see, okay, these are good zones to be looking at buys. Nobody really saw that hitting that. Was it possible that you knew at some point? Absolutely. But nobody saw that coming on Friday. I'm not saying nobody. Most people, most traders did not. Okay. Um, this is showing me, look, another level. Now let me show you this. Okay. So you might say, well, it's going to cross these candles. Yeah. This week when it came here before, and it's going to cross when these candles pushed off this level. So these are little L's when you go on a let's go on a 4 hour. Right? Now you get an even clearer picture. Smaller time frame. This is how it looks on a 4 hour. Okay. Look at these levels. You don't think people looked at this level right here where I just put this wick and was like, damn, I'm getting for the buy. People saw it bounce off this where this ended up pushing back from this rejection here and then end up closing around here above this line. People looking for that. They are looking to the left and they're like, oh, this is a good level to buy. Okay. Once you start seeing it start pushing and rejecting here, trust me, people got here and look was looking at that. Absolutely. And people are going to continue to do that. Right. This is on a 4 hour. So if you're an intraday trader, you probably want to look at the day, the 4 hour, then hour. You might even want to look at the week. For futures, futures is not really the thing you swing trade. That's just the way you pay a lot of fees when you're buying and selling um, contracts in the future. So it's not advantageous for you to be constantly in and out. People don't think about it, especially when you have your own brokerage. It's a lot of fees you're going to end up paying from a lot of different brokerages. I'm not sure, maybe not as much on like these prop firms, like I got Top Step up right now, but that's just the reality. But look, it came back to this level again, and it's kind of where it's teetering up right now. Right now, this is where it's teetering. It's still trading below this level of retracement where before it broke it here. So honestly, I wouldn't be shocked on London session. It come down here again, maybe test the low. The low for today is not this. The low for today is, I believe it's this at 26,685. Yeah. Yeah, this is the low where this wick is at, and then projected very nicely off there. Okay. But still closed inside of the previous day on the 14th. You see that? So it closed below there, but the high of the day is right here at 25 on the weight. So the market is going to test both, and it's definitely going to test one first. I think it's going to test the bottom first and then continue up, or it could do the vice versa. So we'll just have to see. But look where it has done something similar right here just in September when it's trading at this level. So this gives you indication of what the market may do at these particular levels. This is price action. So when you're looking at these particular levels, look to the left and see what the market is doing. So you don't want to get in the middle if you can. So what you do is you look, what's the bottom of that at this price range? What's the bottom? What's the top? What is more likely to do? Depending on volatility, if you're like, okay, I'm gonna take a buy, I want to hit the 21, 570 to 580, 590 area. That's not bad as long as you see it close above here. Okay. All right. So for instance, like this closed above the 577 level, and it looked like based off this candle with such a strong volatility here, and then it retraced back to this level. That's where you will want to, this candle here is where you will want to get back into the buy to take it back to this level. I mean, look at that. That's 688 to, I mean, that's a 300 point, almost 300 point move right there. About 270, 280 point move up just in this range right here. I'm on a 4 hour chart, so it looks small, but that's a lot of points. Let's bring it down to another level. Boom. Look at that. So now you start looking at entries. If you're an intraday trader, you might be waiting for this very move or for this break right here. And you might want to get in right up in here on this candle right here. Give me a hard time. See this candle, this green candle. You might want to get in right there. And this the level. It broke. But reason why you think that's a good level, look right here where it opened and gapped up at here. See this gap? And it had to close this gap. People probably didn't peep that. Look at that gap right here. It had to close this gap right here. That's why it wicked down there and then popped up. And they did that yesterday. And then tested below here, tested this level again. And you could have rolled this all the way up. And then it came down right here and immediately popped. Strong bullish candle there and kept now it's just consolidating. So if you didn't jump into that, it hit this level multiple times for you to get into trades today. As volatile as the market was today on Wednesday the 15th, market gave you ample opportunity to get in and get out. You just had to be patient because it, especially the first maybe 30 minutes, those 15-minute, 5-minute candles were going. It was crazy. Volatility was insane. So that's just something about looking at these charts you got to trade. So for me, I will look for a retrace here. If it doesn't break this level here, I'll take a buy here again. Same thing here. Now, if it takes here, reach this level or above this level and break this high and start trading up in here, if you don't catch it here and I will wait for the retest here and take it off to see if it's going to test the high again. Okay, and see potentially you might catch it when it might be ready to break. Or I'll be looking to see if it comes up here, wicks maybe up here, and it just sell off. I'll be looking for, if it sell off start to look strong, I'll be looking for buys down here again at the 2180, 21.5, what's this, 440 level. Okay. If you're a scalper, I mean, you want to start looking at these 15-hour to these 15-minute candles for entries. Look at how the candles look. And same thing, see the range. And you want to mark these levels up to see if it comes as if it is there confluence on the higher time frames. That's why you want to do it. And then you start looking for entries, right? So now you go to 5 minute. Okay, where can I get in? Okay. You look at the 5 minute, that makes you be like, okay, it bounced off this level clean. You might want to take a buy on this red candle or even this green candle if you felt more confident doing that. But just looking at the left, you should know, like, once it wicked like that, and once this red candle also showed that it didn't, then you should have been comfortable with a good experience. But let's break it down even more to the 1 minute. All right, so might want to take your entries at, right? So let's look at that. And it's created that W, right? Broke structure here, right? Then it broke structure here. But this is where the better entry right here. When it broke this little section right here should have told you. Look at this, look at these candles. Look at this red candle. Look at this wick, this hammer. Look at this inverted hammer. Look at these three candles showing you with the wicks being smaller and traded inside this green candle. And then when this engulfing candle, which is me that it's just bigger than all of these, that you should have been comfortable either getting here, and then if you saw the red one, you get a slightly small drawdown and got it right here. Look, even when it to the left, it traded higher, traded back into this 1 minute candle again, but it never broke below it, right? And it never broke below this little area where it was selling off previously. That should allow you to continue up. You should have felt comfortable in that trade for a nice scalp. You could have scalped it from here, more experienced traders, or even here and took it up here, here. I mean, you could have really rolled this level up pretty well. Okay. So that's just something that you want to take a look at and keep that in mind. But yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, again, Profit Playground. Um, Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope y'all like the video. Let me know, like again, in the comments, suggestions, anything.